Chris, in game 2, they kind of brought in Jackson Davis, Kuminga a little bit. What did you think of like the different look that those guys provide, and how are you preparing to maybe see a little more of them tonight?
Yeah, I thought those guys brought great energy and great production. Expect to see more of them for sure. But we knew coming into the series that they were liable to just use anybody and everybody at any time. They've kind of been doing it all season. Obviously, once they got Jimmy, they settled into a little bit more of a regular rotation. But having watched them even through the last series, they were super creative as they always are with everything they do. So we're prepared for or need to be prepared for almost anybody. So.
Chris, how have you guys been monitoring Ant's ankle since game 2, and do you expect any sort of limitation for him tonight?
Not that I'm aware of it right now. He had a good workout yesterday. Hadn't really had any ill effects from it. So, hopefully it's as close to full go as you can be right now. So.
Chris, Steve Kerr wasn't shy about saying that they're going to have to win the game with defense tonight.
Yeah.
Does that affect like the way you approach the game in terms of like the possession game and the not giving them turnovers and just basically finding ways to not have that defense beat you?
Yeah, I think no doubt about it. I mean, they've got a great defense to start with. They have options to make to even get better defensively with some of their personnel. Coming into this series, we also felt that it was going to be a possession game series. Whoever was going to win the possession game was going to win the game most nights, if not every night, because they can turn you over at such a high level and then get out and cash in on that. So, absolutely, we've got to make sure that we are taking care of the ball like we did in game 2, and taking care of the glass, and we need to do that a little bit better. Their activity on the glass has been a handful so far.
Chris, earlier in the season, this team was very streaky. You'd go through stretches of 4 wins or 4 losses, and it seemed to repeat for a while. What was the key for maybe this team to be able to turn the page a little quicker from losses or bad performances as the season went on?
I just think once we were able to kind of figure out who we were and repeat it on a nightly basis, whether we won or lost, we know we could go out and play the same way the next night, and kind of find our identity through that. I think that's what really carries you. Particularly in the regular season, is how fast can you form your identity, how often can you play to it, and then as a coach what to expect. I think one of the worst places to be as a coach is not being able to trust who you are every night. So I think that would probably happen to us just prior to Christmas.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Janie from AP. Steve, yesterday and again today, applauded the Timberwolves' handling of this fan and said how much he loves Minnesotans, and it's sort of one person, not how he thinks of your state or anything. Anything you'd like to add in terms of he doesn't feel there will be any ill effects with Draymond or any of those things going forward in the series?
Yeah, obviously there's a zero place for any of that in sports, in society, and everything. I was proud of the way the organization reacted swiftly. And hopefully we can put it behind us. And I would echo those thoughts. I mean, Minnesotans are great, warm, welcome people, very open and tolerant, and they're diehard sports fans. But everything has to be kept within the boundaries of what is, acceptable.
Do you feel there's been too many fans sort of crossing the line at times, or the FUs and all of these things that we're hearing directed at players, or is that just sort of the intense part of the playoffs, I guess?
I think it's a great question. Certainly part of the intensity of the playoffs. I just where we are as a society, it feels like everybody feels like they have the right to say whatever the heck whenever they want to, regardless of being respectful or whatnot. So, I probably have noticed a little bit more loud mouths around the court than in years past, but it's our job as professional athletes to block that out and try to carry forward. So.
Obviously, with Steph out, focus switches a lot to Jimmy. You've seen playoff Jimmy show up in the past, put up 40, 50-point games. Do you guys have a contingency in case he kind of gets in that mindset of I'm going to score every single point and starts really getting hot?
Well, I mean, yeah, we always have, different things that we're going to try to do regardless of what's going on in the game. So I think one thing is we feel fortunate. We have a multitude of guys that, can try to take the matchup and maybe, over the course of 48 minutes, we can kind of wear them down just enough.